Here we are. It's bonus episode number 10. My name is Russ, and Kyle is along with me, and of course... Oh, Michelle's here. Michelle's here as well. So that's fun, having Michelle along for the ride. So
that never gets old.
Yeah. So while this is episode 10...
I never get old.
Yeah. That's not what the listeners say. So we are...
I'm the heel.
You definitely are. So while we are on episode 10 of the bonus tournaments, we're actually in week 2 of new matches and a new format because people love Michelle so much that they didn't want her to be labored with the voting. So
I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah. So now the voting is, and winners are decided on by our Facebook page as opposed to Michelle, who is so popular, no one wanted to hear her decide anything.
I appreciate that, though. I don't want to decide anymore.
Right. Sure. So last week, under this new format and new matchup, we had Eminem, Music to Be Murdered By versus Carole King's Tapestry, and in a landslide, Carole King Tapestry took that.
I think Kyle and I are the only ones who voted for
Boo.
Eminem.
You did not vote for Eminem. You almost voted for Eminem.
My initial instinct was Eminem, and then you convinced me that it could be Tapestry.
Well, well, and I kept trying to make it fair on the Facebook page. Like, I made at least 3 separate posts being like...
At least one comment.
Yeah, like, I just wanted, like, I don't know, somebody to contact his mom or something and be like, we're on good terms now, I vote for him.
But did you start a fake Facebook page and then go comment on it and say Eminem?
I totally should have.
You should have.
Yeah, and just had it be like a relative of his name or something. But anyways, yeah, so as promised, I do want to share some of this feedback because some of the stuff, some of it's real straightforward. We did have one person, which is totally acceptable, just put Tapestry. Like, no.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, we had one Tapestry and we had one Tapestry faux show posted with, and again, and I'll cover this again later, like, we don't need you to give us a whole ton of feedback on it. If you want to, there's some great stuff that was left. You know, if you want to, that's totally cool too, but you certainly, don't have to. You can just go on the page and leave your vote, and that's it. So we got one that more or less went the sentimental route, said Tapestry, and like most people, I have fond memories. Every time I hear it, I feel the earth move under my feet. I know it'll be a fun ride, and then mentioned a couple other cuts off the record. And that's how I feel about the album. Like, when I drop the needle on Tapestry, as soon as the piano comes in for I Feel the Earth Move, it feels like home.
Yeah.
Like it's a sentimental thing for me. Another interesting one that I thought was kind of something that I pointed out too was a person said they're going with Tapestry. Nothing against Eminem album other than it's not in his top 2 for him, which is, what I was saying was like, for me, it's just, I like the record, but it's not like, if I think his second or third album could have put up a better showing.
I was going to say that earlier, is that if it was an earlier record of his, it would have done better, I think.
It's just so new too. I feel like a lot of people aren't listening to it a lot yet.
Yeah, that's very possible. Had a couple of more in-depth type comments, this here is kind of speaks to what I was talking about with the influence of Tapestry. Like, there was a comment that said, imagine what the music world would be without Tapestry, that it changed the musical landscape and opened the door for women. And, where would the music landscape be today without Music to Be Murdered By? And I see both sides of that. The only yes, it's brand new, so you can't say, well, it didn't influence anything yet because it's, it's brand new. But it's also Eminem doing more of the same.
Right.
So it's not like there's anything innovative on it that we could say, let's see how this plays out.
The reason he was able to make Music to Be Murdered By was because of the earlier records he made.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
And then they go on to mention some records in here that I don't even know why they get mentioned as far as like music that changes the musical landscape. They mentioned Pet Sounds, which we know is garbage. I mean,
subpar.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't even make it out of the first round of the tournament, that POS. Thriller, which is still in contention in the tournament by some miracle. That's still in. Dark Side of the Moon, that giant piece of crap got taken out of the tournament already.
I made sure to help you guys out with that.
Right. Nevermind, Sgt. Pepper's The Chronic, I think, is a great one that's mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, that like the 90s rap doesn't happen without
I was going to put Chronic 2001 as one of my picks, but I ended up choosing something else.
Oh, that's good.
Tell that story again.
That is the story. Rewind it and listen.
But yeah, and then he also listed Black Sabbath's first record and What's Going On by Marvin Gaye.
Mm-hmm.
All stuff. A lot of great records that could have made the tournament as well. And then we did have one of our listeners from Northern California, James Porter, really, really left an in-depth piece on both records, which I thought was great. Like, you could really tell he spent a lot of time on both. And a lot of what he said on Tapestry we covered on the show. But as far as Music to Be Murdered By, he had a couple of really astute points that he pointed out. He said the beats are great, the talent's undeniable. There were moments on the album where I could connect with the message, like Darkness, really powerful, but a lot of the album was unrelatable. And here's one thing thing that I thought too was rhymes for the sake of rhyme, like blinding speed at the end of Godzilla. Even though that's impressive, there wasn't much said to make an impact, and I didn't think about that at all when I was listening to it. And then the wrap up of this message says, in the end, I left Tapestry invigorated and upbeat, and I left Music to be Murdered by feeling pretty disconnected and angry and unfocused. So, you know what I mean? I can totally see why you'd be like, well, please put on Tapestry before that before that other record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and it speaks to the intent of both records too. Like, I don't think Eminem set out to put a happy record together.
Oh, no.
No. Not by any stretch of the imagination. So, you know, of all of that feedback, are you still saying that you voted for Eminem? Or are you still making that claim even though you did not vote for Eminem?
I feel like I have to vote for the underdog now. I feel like he got one vote.
Well, I should say, and I never say this phrase, but you know your vote doesn't matter, right? Like, it's already been decided. Like, Carole,
why are you asking me?
Because I'm asking about your feedback. Like, do you still think that Music to be Murdered by is the better album, or do you think the Tapestry is the better record?
Pass. It's too hard.
Do you know that this is just going to get harder going forward? Like, this is going to get way, way, way hard.
This is why I'm not choosing anymore.
No, you're not choosing anymore because social media spoke up and said, please have that woman.
I said we should take it to the internet.
You had people that thought maybe you didn't understand math. And maybe that you were listening. There was a real big question that you were listening to even the right record at one point.
Yeah, and my scoring makes total sense. So
right.
Don't even.
You
worry.
wanted the internet to handle it because you thought that you might walk outside at some point and get a bag put over your head and thrown in a trunk.
Well, there's still a danger of that.
Yeah, I feel like that's and that's for more reasons than outside of this podcast. So.
Yeah, no kidding. So, Kyle, as far as you go, like, agree, disagree with anything that was said, like, specific to that, like Godzilla, because I mean, it's wildly impressive, but when you put it through that lens that James said, I'm like, crap, I didn't think of that.
I think that song was just used as him to show off on.
Yeah, I don't think
I would
not
never necessarily meaning anything specific, just so he could show what he could do.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Some people like hit high notes and stuff.
Oh, now you got thoughts?
Well, about that, you didn't ask me specifically about Godzilla. You just put me on the spot and was like, "You still vote for Eminem?"
So, just so you know, every week we're going to record one of these, so you don't have to claim to be put on the spot any longer.
I didn't know you were going to ask me again.
Yeah, it's going to happen every single week.
Twice?
Yeah, because we're going to talk about, and the listeners know this because they listened last week when I was talking about it, and I assume Kyle knows as well, but just to recap for you, yes, every week we're going to discuss the listener feedback.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, I read the listener feedback, and then we started to discuss it, and you turtle shelled, and then I went to Kyle, who actually started discussing it with me, and then you were like,
okay, ask me again.
Words. What do you think about the feedback that we received on Tapestry as to why it should win over Music to be Murdered by?
So I think...
I swear to God, I thought you were going to say pass.
Oh, boy.
So I feel like a lot of people are voting in the same way that I have been voting this entire time. They just didn't agree with the way that I was voting. So, like, I personally, like...
really need to be clear that no one's doing it exactly how you did it.
Yeah. Like you said, for nostalgia reasons, and that's the one that they like better. That's the one... that doesn't mean that it is a better record.
Doesn't everyone vote for their preference? That's what it is. Like that.
So, but no, people were mad about Pet Sounds because they said it's just a better record, but I don't like that record that much. So, like, I understand that its position in the music industry and the influence it's had, but I would never put on Pet Sounds.
So, in all seriousness, these two records you probably do like equally
for different reasons. So it's very hard. So, like, if I'm cleaning the house, I'm probably going to put on Eminem just to, like, ramp myself up. But if I'm just, like, relaxing, then it's Tapestry.
I feel like you're the type of person that listening to Godzilla would make you take a nap. Like you did the work. Yeah. Hey, I'm not going to be able to make it tonight. What happened? Well, I put on Godzilla and now I'm tuckered out.
I was trying to keep up and rapping in my head.
Yeah. I caught like every 10th word and now I'm tired.
I need any excuse to take a good nap. So.
Back to Godzilla too, as I think that caught more traction because he set the world record for whatever rapping, and then also it features Juice WRLD, who passed away.
Right.
So then it just those couple of things pushed it further than it really needed to go.
Sure.
It's not.
It's really hard because they're two really different records that I both really like. So it's very hard for me to pick. Whereas today's topic, I have a clear winner already. way.
There's a lot. Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, I think I know why, which one and why. But anyways,
Ooh, let's talk about it.
For me, it's actually harder sometimes when the records are really similar. Like there's some matches coming up where, like for example, in a couple weeks we're going to talk about Purple Rain and Thriller, and I'm like, those records are really similar. Like that to me is a little bit harder than taking two records. But I know what you're saying. Like I mean, without trying to sound.
What do you like better, apples or oranges? But like that's.
I like
without trying to be stereotypical about it.
You.
A Carole King record and an Eminem record serve two totally different purposes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You put one on when the party's starting, and I maintain you could put either on in the middle of the party, but it depends on what party you're at, I guess. So anyway, speaking of this week's matchup, this one for me is difficult. And I have no doubt that there's going to be listeners, and it sounds like you guys are both set on this, that as soon as you hear the name of these two records, you're just like, this one or that one. We'll get to it in the second half, but I'm pretty split on this. So for this week, the matchup is Metallica, the Black Album, which knocked out Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon from the tournament. An album. I
can literally hear the sadness.
Oh, I'm still mad. It was like 4 weeks ago, and I'm still mad. Like I was livid the night that we recorded that episode, and I'm still mad about it. I still want the hype sticker on the Dark Side of the Moon from here forward to say, 4 out of 4 stars, one of the top selling records of all time, and then in quotes, there are not enough lyrics, Michelle. I mean, the record's world renowned for tell me the Dark Side of the Moon's got stinkers. Anyways, the Black Album by Metallica versus Led Zeppelin 4, which knocked out Garth Brooks' No Fences, which I don't think surprised anybody. Like, I think Garth Brooks himself heard about it and was like, yeah, well, I mean,
Are these both yours?
But I do remember, no. These are still, this is one of mine and one of Kyle's, yeah.
Weird.
I know, that is weird. The thing with Garth, though, is what my memory of us breaking that down was that I thought Garth did a lot better than I thought he was going to do with you. There were only a couple of songs on the record that you said you really didn't like.
Yeah, there were only a couple, and they were the same ones. I feel like when you did your analysis, and I was like, I feel the same way.
Yeah. So. What's funny is I can't even remember the name of the one song that I distinctly pointed out as not liking, and it was because when I played the record front to back, I was like, this song's on here? And now I can't even remember what the name of it was again.
Your brain purposely erased that.
Right, yeah.
It's like, no.
But I do remember the record doing better than I expected it to. But ultimately, Led Zeppelin 4 knocked it out. So we are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and give you our choices off the top of our head, and then have a little bit of a chit-chat about why we think you guys should pick one over the other. And we will take a break and be right back.
Hey, I'm Lauren.
And I'm John.
And we host the Beard Al Podcast, the podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al.
And a lot of other things. We're funny.
Yeah, that's basically what I told him to say. Good job with your script.
I listened.
Yay! But no, seriously, we try and pair a beer with a Weird Al song and talk about both things and go where the conversation takes us. It's fun, I promise. You'll like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like talking about random things as well as, fine craft beers and some wonderful craft music.
Hey, I'm Pantsless Aaron.
This is Stevie.
And I'm Augie.
And we are BFYTW, a podcast all about playing games and having fun. Our games are usually based on British panel shows and game shows, but we'll play anything that captures our attention and imagination. Why? It's right there in the title.
You'll never guess what the F stands for.
So, with all the business done from the past, and we have decided, or you have decided, that Carole King Tapestry is moving on in the tournament, we are now on this week's, and it's time to discuss Metallica's Black Album versus Led Zeppelin 4. So, the three of us are going to spit out our choices, and then we're going to have a bit of a round table and let you know why we think what we think. Kyle, between Metallica's Black Album and Led Zeppelin's fourth record, which one are you picking?
Metallica.
Is it a secret?
It's a secret.
Metallica.
Don't tell Lars. Michelle, between Metallica Black Album and Led Zeppelin 4, what way are you going?
Led Zeppelin 4.
See, I thought so. Damn it. This doesn't help me.
She gets so mad when I play Metallica at home. I already knew she was going to choose that.
So my choice,
I do like Led Zeppelin,
choice after at least 12 hours of deliberation and really thinking about it is I will also pass, as Michelle did last week. So, and you know what? Actually, first things first, I want to hear what you guys have to say about the records. And again, we don't need a full analysis, just why you're picking the one over the other. And then I'll tell you why I'm undecided, unless one of you makes up my mind for me. So, like, Kyle, for you, what puts the Black Album? And we're going by what you said, like, with Eminem, right? Like, you got both of these CDs laying on the table. You're going to reach for the Black Album first. Why?
Nothing gets me going like some old Metallica. I love it.
So as soon as that Sandman starts, you're off to the races.
And I do love Led Zeppelin as well, and I could listen to them all the time, really, in the background of whatever I'm doing, because it's just good music to chill out and listen to. But
one thing I think is a constant on the show, at least between me and you, and I'm rolling up the window here between the other, is at least like I don't take any of this personally. Like I don't think that you're like, no, because Led Zeppelin sucks.
Yeah.
I think she is out to hurt my feelings and purposely gets rid of records like in order to hurt my feelings, but I don't think
that
you're ever like
happened.
So like you don't have to qualify it with like I don't hate Zeppelin. If so, the two are laying on the table, you're gonna pick up the black record because you want that to get you going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I 9 times out of 10 I would choose the Metallica record over a Led Zeppelin record.
The only thing, the record overall. The only argument I would make on that is the Black Album starts out so damn strong. Hey, mama, it kicks in.
Opening song.
But the Black Album starts here and stays there, and the Led Zeppelin 4 goes up and down with
Led Zeppelin 4
to
has some damn jams on it for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So why are you picking up Led Zeppelin 4?
So
because she hates Metallica.
So between the two
that's
records,
possible. That's totally fine too.
I would never on my own pick up Metallica, and it's not even that I hate them. It's nothing that I would turn on my own. Like there's bands that I despise. Metallica's not one of them. It's just not one of my jams. But I really was shocked how much I loved this record. I never
Me too.
listened
Led Zeppelin
to
4.
Yes,
I was really surprised by how much you liked it.
Yeah, and so from front to back, and I told you, I think a lot of it had to do with I don't know what the names of a lot of Led Zeppelin songs are called. So I look at a record and I'm like, I don't know any of the songs, and then I put it on. I'm like, oh my god, I know all these songs.
Yeah.
And so I was really shocked.
Even stuff like I think Going to California and damn it, there's another song I can't think of, but
Battle of Evermore.
Yes, absolutely. Battle of Evermore is exactly what I'm trying to think of. Thank you. Where you would never know those by name, and they would like when Misty Mountain Hop starts, you're going to go, oh, I love this. But I think when Battle of Evermore or Going to California starts, you're not going to be like, oh, I know this. But when it gets into it, you're like, well, this is a jam.
Yeah, actually, Battle of Evermore was the only song on the record that it was not my jam, but the whole record.
Not a stinker, though.
I don't think it's a stinker.
Jimmy Page and Robert Plant and John Paul Jones are getting up there, and I don't want to cause any of them a heart attack.
Yeah.
I find out today that they put a record out with a stinker on it.
But I was, like I said, I was surprisingly shocked how much I liked this record. And it wasn't that, like, I came into it and was like, I never heard Led Zeppelin before. It's just that I didn't know that all these songs that I loved by Led Zeppelin were on this album because
It's almost like the Thriller thing where it reads like a greatest hits. Yeah.
So, hands down.
And they
Led
don't
Zeppelin.
even have one album with the Godzilla song on it. On Physical Graffiti, they have something really similar to a song called Kashmir, but it's not the great piece of work.
Is Sean Diddy Combs on it?
No. Yeah. I think Sean Diddy Combs was on that year. He had recorded something called a home video in his high chair because he was like 2 when Kashmir came out.
Was he eating birthday cake? Probably
more than likely.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's my thing with the two records, and I think probably most listeners who know me or have listened to the show would assume that I'd automatically lean towards Led Zeppelin, and this was a record I brought to the dance.
Yeah,
right?
I'm actually shocked that when you told me that before, you're like, I can't decide.
So here's the thing: Led Zeppelin 4 is just monster. Like it's monster. You can't. There's literally like if the biggest strike against a record is the Battle of Evermore, then okay, you've made a fine record.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But damn it, the Black Album. It's just every song on it is a freaking masterpiece of what it is trying to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just off the top of my head, Sandman, Sad but True, Nothing Else Matters, Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam. Home, A Wolf and Man, Don't Tread on Me. Like, and I'm sure I'm probably missing like 4.
Yeah.
But and now me missing 4 though leads to a big detractor for the Black Album for me, and I don't think it's the Black Album's fault. You have to remember that when Led Zeppelin 4 came out, almost all records were capped by the 42 or 44 minute mark, because that's what an LP would hold.
Right.
When CDs came out, you will notice a distinct change to albums getting a shit ton more filler on them, because now you had 74 minutes to work with and later on 80 minutes to work with.
You didn't have to fill it.
No, you didn't, but everyone does. Everyone does. Let me put it this way. The Beatles have 7 or 8 studio records, and they have 1 double record between them, okay? And I think we can all agree the Beatles are the most prolific songwriters in the history of music, right?
Yes.
So these guys only needed 1 double record in their entire career, okay? And then everyone else who's put out a CD since like 1985 has put out like a 75-minute. So you're telling me that every damn buddy who's had access to digital technology all of a sudden became more prolific than Lennon and McCartney? Like, there's so much filler out there. And here's the thing with the Black Album for me is there's not a lot of filler, but there is filler. So that's why I can't decide, because it's not exactly their fault that there's filler. It's a product of the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm sure the record label was like, let's get that thing up near 74 minutes. And I don't even know what the runtime is. It's probably 68 or something like that. But I feel like if you took, let me put it this way, the Led Zeppelin 4 clocks in at a guess probably at 41 and a half minutes, something like that. If you took like 4 songs off the Black Album and made it the same length, I would pick the Black Album all day, every day above
Really?
Led Zeppelin 4. Yeah. But that filler really like holds it back. Like, I have the Mobile Fidelity 45 RPM pressing. The greatest thing that's ever happened to me is there's a lot of songs that take up a whole side of an LP. So I can just skip that whole damn song and just move on, because there is enough filler on that record to where I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Whereas if I ever put Led Zeppelin 4 on, that son of a bitch is going front to back.
Yeah. It's 62 minutes.
The Black Album?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? And that, you know, and you're telling me that Metallica had 20 minutes of more brilliance than Led Zeppelin? I'm going to say no. You know,
So gun to your head, if you had to put one on, you can't.
so like Desert Island situation, I'd have to go Led Zeppelin 4. Like, just because I don't want to be that mad the rest of my life. like there's times where, like, let me put it
But then
this
you
way
have
too.
4 extra songs to listen to on a desert island for the rest of your
That I
life.
don't want to hear. 4 extra songs of filler.
I guess you're right.
But like, okay, let me put it this way. So if you take 2 songs on the Black Album, we'll say Wherever I May Roam and Unforgiven. One of them's like I guess for lack of a better term, power ballad, and the other one's a straight rock song, right? I can get both of those songs in one on Stairway to Heaven. The first half of the song is a power ballad, and the second half of the song is as I would argue as rockin' as Wherever I May Roam. Yeah, you get a live version, and it'll destroy Wherever I May Roam, but because of cocaine. But
It's like cocaine.
Yeah, cocaine. So I'm honestly, as much as I just absolutely barreled into you and made fun of you last week for leaving it undecided, I truly am going to leave this up to the listeners. Now, having said that, absolutely, desert island situation, gun to my head, I would have to go. Let me put it this way: if you went over there right now and you were just going to take one or the other records out of my bins, and I never get to have the other one back, like if you try and get out of the house with Led Zeppelin 4, there's going to be a fight.
Noted.
And I have 3 different pressings of Led Zeppelin 4.
How many pressings of Metallica do you have?
Just the one, because I have the definitive one, Mobile Fidelity, which they've never, or I don't think they've ever done Led Zeppelin 4. But yeah, so I don't know. That's like literally
This was a tough one for you.
I going into this week, just looking at it, I was like, oh well, this will be easy. And then nope. Once I like really started to think about it, I was like, I want to make this choice. I mean, that's where we're at. So you have one for Eminem, one for Eminem.
Yeah, I was the one for Eminem. That is true.
So to be clear, after the Facebook comments, there's still one for Eminem. No, excuse me. You have one for Metallica, one for Led Zeppelin, and one. Boy, I sure can't make up my mind.
But in an emergency situation,
in a break in case of emergency situation.
Like if you only get one of those 2 records out of the house in a fire.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is I'm sure we're going to have a lot of the same people comment on the Facebook page, and I really, really, really want everybody else to get involved in this and leave your comments as well. I think a lot of people, when they go to listen to this, might start out that same way, like, oh, I would pick Led Zeppelin, but then reflect on the Black Album and be like, wait a minute, or there's no way the Black Album beats Led Zeppelin 4, and then start to listen to 4 and be like, oh damn it, You know, like this is
that'd be like where I was like, oh my gosh, I like all these songs.
And this is another thing too, where these records to me are similar enough. Like they're not. I mean, Metallica's metal, and unless it's a really uninformed article written by a 12-year-old now that's like, a metal band Led Zeppelin. Unless somebody doesn't know what they're talking about, I would never call Zeppelin metal.
No, not at all.
But they're both rocking enough.
What would you call them?
Zeppelin, rock,
they're like a rock
hard
band.
rock.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them metal. I just want to know.
Depends on even what you're listening to by them. Like in 9 records, they're all over. Like the record before this, Led Zeppelin 3 is like acoustic rock. I mean, it starts with the Immigrant Song, which is like super aggressive, and then like after the Immigrant Song, they just downshift, and then the whole rest of the record. Like a lot of people don't like Led Zeppelin 3 because of that, because it's very low key.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's funny that you mentioned listening to or thinking you're gonna like one more than the other, and then listening to it and being like, oh no, like I like that one better. I regularly listen to the Black Album, like all the time. And when we were
really, I couldn't tell.
when we were doing this, I listened to 4 several times, and I was like, oh man, like jam after jam. Like I was like, god damn, this is a really good record.
Yeah.
And
4 is, I mean, and even I know I say a lot of times sides, and I know we live in a streaming world and whatnot, but like if you look at Led Zeppelin 4 from a side perspective, like playing inside, side 1 starts with Black Dog and ends with Stairway to Heaven, and then you flip it over and
there's more.
You're like, is there any way they can top that side? And then John Paul Jones starts laying down the bass and keys for Misty Mountain Hop, and he's like, hold my beer, so.
Yep.
So, having said that, we talked a lot in the first half about all the feedback. We so much appreciate that. If you want to support the show, you could, like, I saw a meme the other day that was like, you hear shows asking for like monetary support all the time, and the meme was like, other ways to support a show that where you don't have to spend money, like leaving comments, likes, sharing and whatnot. And it was like these all cost $0. Like it really helps us out a lot.
Tell your friends, man.
I was really excited to have all this feedback,
absolutely,
to share. So, and I want to have more. And while you still can't vote for Eminem, maybe, I don't know, cheer him up, mention his name, and help him out. So this episode, you guys will hear this on Friday, and I also kind of screwed it up last week with the Facebook post. When this post goes up for saying, hey, this episode's out, go listen to it now, just go ahead and leave your comments and your votes on there, because it was kind of convoluted the way I did it, and it actually took
that makes it easier that way.
It took a listener from California being like, what are we doing? Then that's not a poke at him, that's a poke at me doing it wrong. So we'll just do it that way, so you can, once you hear the episode, you can just go back to that post and leave your thoughts and everything. So, and you don't have to leave a ton of reasons why. I personally could read that stuff all day, but you don't have to. You can literally go in there and just put Led Zeppelin, or Metallica faux show, or
or Led Zeppelin no stinkers.
Hashtag no stinkers. So, having said that, boy, oh boy, next week's going to be a fun one.
Oh boy.
Next week we have Pearl Jam 10 versus, and I'm trying to find a nice way to say this, probably the most hated album in this tournament because of the debacle that occurred with it. Next week is Pearl Jam 10 versus Dermot Kennedy's Without Fear. And I would mention that you might want to pre-cheer up Dermot Kennedy for how this is going to go, because I'm pretty sure there are people who have never posted on any of our social media who are going to get all of their friends to be mad at this record. And because of the Pet Sounds debacle, To
each their own, man.
To each their own. So we greatly appreciate it. I'm having a lot of fun with these. I think these are fun as hell. So we greatly appreciate you guys listening. Make sure to be active on the Facebook page and let us know what you think of this, and prepare for battle next week. So, all right, thanks a lot, guys. See ya. Bye.
Bye.